The story begins in the grand courtroom of the Eastern Empire. Empress Navier Trovy sits tall and regal, but her heart pounds. Emperor Sovieshu, cold yet composed, declares that he wants a divorce. Gasps ripple through the court. Whispers fill the air, scandalous and shocked. Navier does not crumble. With perfect dignity, she answers calmly, "If you wish for a divorce, I will accept. However, I ask for permission to remarry." The nobles are stunned. Sovieshu falters for the first time, surprised by her resolve. The chapter flashes back to how this moment came to be. Navier recalls how Sovieshu first introduced Rashta, a delicate young woman, into the palace. In the emperor's chambers, Sovieshu gently brings Rashta forward. She clings to him shyly, her eyes lowered, playing the part of an innocent beauty. Navier, shocked but outwardly calm, greets her with grace. Sovieshu declares that Rashta will live in the palace as his concubine. Alone later, Navier's thoughts churn. She has been betrayed, yet she cannot afford tears. An empress must be stronger than her pain. Rashta begins her new life in the palace. Servants rush to please her as Sovieshu hovers protectively. Navier attends council meetings, calmly managing the empire's affairs while whispers follow her. At dinner, Sovieshu showers Rashta with attention. In a garden stroll, Rashta clings to Sovieshu's arm, acting childlike. He tells her not to worry, that he will protect her from the harshness of the palace. Navier, watching from afar, sees through the act. She notes the quick glances Rashta casts around, calculating, before slipping back into her fragile persona. Alone in her chambers, Navier remembers her childhood with Sovieshu, how they once trusted each other fully. She wonders when everything broke. Rashta asks innocently on how to call the empress, acting she didn't know. The empress said call her the empress, but Rashta still acting being dumb. She reached the empress gown. The lady serving the empress called her insolent and filthy. His Majesty arrived and heard it, so he wanted to punish the lady's assistants and punish her for bullying Rashta. His Majesty favors Rashta so much. He called the empress and nagged her about being favor of her servants who bullied Rashta. His Majesty said if only he could always obey everything he said like Rashta, then it's better. While relaxing, His Majesty thinks about Rashta. Rashta came and give His Majesty a water and sit beside her. His Majesty gives Rashta a very good pie for snack. Then Rashta asks when will she become His Majesty's concubine. A quiet day in the palace. Navier is taking a stroll in the palace garden. A flutter of wings. Suddenly, a large, beautiful bird lands nearby. Navier bends slightly, amused and intrigued. It doesn't fear her, in fact, it looks almost expectant. The ribbon and message, around the bird's leg, Navier notices a small ribbon and a rolled letter. She gently unties it, her fingers brushing the silky fabric. Inside is a note written in neat handwriting, playful yet respectful. The contents: the letter is from Prince Heinrich, though he doesn't reveal his full identity at first. He greets her warmly, writing that he admires her strength and dignity. He introduces the bird as his companion, queen, and offers it as a messenger between them. His Majesty asked the Empress to find a servant for Rashta because no one would want. He even said that because of the Empress no one wanted to become Rashta's servant because of the gossip she created, where in fact the Empress is innocent about it. The Empress still helps to find a servant for Rashta, which makes him stress because no one accepted it even though she's the one talking to them. While lying in bed, the bird came in the window with a letter, and every time the Empress also gives reply even though she does not really know who owns the bird and who sends it to her. His Majesty then called the Empress and blamed her for no one wants to become Rashta's servant because of her who created rumors, but the Empress said it was not me and why she takes the blame. His Majesty said because she is the one who will benefit from it if Rashta will be kick one since she was her love rival in his heart. But the Empress confidently said she was not my rival because I don't love you. The Empress went to her favorite spot in the garden and cried. The bird came and pat her face like comforting her for crying. After that the bird fly away and became a man. It was the Prince of the Western Kingdom, known to be a very handsome man where everyone talks about. Navier often takes peaceful walks in the imperial gardens. There is a particular bench she loves, her favorite seat, a quiet place to read, write, and breathe. On this day, as she approaches, she finds someone already sitting there, Rashta. Rashta stands when she notices Navier, her eyes widening in surprise before softening into a timid smile. With a delicate voice, she apologizes, saying she didn't know it was the Empress's spot. She acts nervous, almost childlike, wringing her hands as though she's afraid of punishment. Navier answers calmly, telling her it's no trouble, the gardens are for everyone. Her voice is polite but cool, maintaining her dignity. Rashta asks if she can call the Empress as her sister, then the Empress said she can call that to the next concubine soon. Because of that, Rashta cried again to His Majesty for the Empress is being harsh on her. His Majesty got angry and shouted at the Empress and give lovingly chair to Rashta. During a diplomatic gathering, Navier is introduced to Heinrich, Crown Prince of the Western Kingdom. Heinrich bows gallantly, his eyes twinkling with mischief but also sincerity. He compliments Navier, not just on her beauty, but on her strength and poise. Their conversation is brief, but Navier feels a flicker of something she hasn't felt in years, being truly seen. Heinrich watches her with interest as she departs, his curiosity clearly piqued. The bird game again, and it was raining because of that. The Empress take care of that bird and lay him in her bed hugging the bird while she sleeps. Because they didn't know each other, she received a letter to make a bet if they would know each other when they met, where in fact the prince, who was also the bird, already knew the queen. The queen then give a hint that she was a man, thinking the owner the bird does not know her. At the palace, Prince Henry came to ask the Empress to tour him in the area. While walking, Rashta came an offer that she would like to accompany the prince to tour him in the palace, but the prince said no need, Bakayus he already asked the Empress. Rashta insists to accompany them, but the prince said no need. They continue walking. The prince asked the Empress if he does not look handsome for her, because she looks indifferent, but the Empress said he looks good. The palace is glowing with light, chandeliers blazing, halls filled with nobles from across the empire, all dressed in finery for the New Year's celebration. In her chambers, Navier is being dressed by her ladies-in-waiting. She wears an exquisite gown, jewels glittering against her composed face. Though her heart is heavy, she reminds herself, I am the Empress. No matter what Sovieshu does, I will not show weakness before the court. She walks into the ballroom with grace, her presence commanding respect. Whispers of admiration. Emperor Sovieshu makes his entrance, and shock ripples through the hall. On his arm is Rashta, radiant in a glittering gown, her face glowing with feigned innocence. Nobles gasp. A concubine, openly brought to the New Year's celebration? Many bow reluctantly, caught between respect for their emperor and discomfort at this breach of etiquette.